We used to watch them. They were part of our lives for a while, and then we forgot about them. Animated shows that grabbed our attention but eventually got buried in the back of our minds. Today on the Retro Stories, 10 animated series we all watched but no one remembers. Let's get started. While Nintendo, with Mario, Zelda, and other big franchises, pretty much took over the major markets, there were a few countries, like Brazil, Argentina, Spain, England, and Germany, where Sega put up a good fight. Back then, Nintendo had a Super Mario Bros. TV show that got really popular. In my country, the Target label even released it on these awesome VHS tapes you could rent at video stores. A few years later, Sega followed suit and brought its own iconic character to the screen with an animated series.
Love! Hate! Love! Coming this week, Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. Trust me, you love it.
Sonic is Super, weekdays at 3 o'clock on Fox 53.
Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. While the 7-minute pilot episode started making the rounds internally in August 1992 to attract broadcasters, it wasn't until September 6th of the following year that kids in North America and Europe got to see the Blue Hedgehog's adventures on their TV screens. In Italy, it aired on Italia 1, while in Spain, it was shown on the legendary Telecinco, complete with its own dub and that unmistakable theme song. A fun, lighthearted, and humor-packed series where Sonic, along with his buddy Tails, repeatedly takes on Dr. Robotnik, who, along with his goofy henchmen, is always trying to take over Planet Mobius. The show had a single season with 65 action-packed, fast-paced episodes full of adventure. Lucky kids in North America didn't just get the show, they also got to experience the awesome special promotions that local stores were offering.
All you gotta do is watch the show and then write down the Sonic Says message. For an entry blank, go to a participating KB toy store or use a 3x5 card and mail it into this station. You might win some of this cool Sonic stuff. Prizes may vary. There's even a $1,000 shopping spree at KB Toy Stores. The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog and KB Toy Stores Watch and Win sweepstakes. Watch and you can win!
That same year, Sonic debuted another animated series, simply titled Sonic the Hedgehog. It ran for a total of 26 episodes across 2 seasons, airing between September 1993 and December 1994. At its core, the show followed a similar formula to the previous one, but featured more refined illustrations and a slightly more modern aesthetic. Some original characters from the series later appeared in the Sonic Spinball video game, and the show also inspired a comic book series of the same name, published by Archie Comics. In April 1987, Taito brought Double Dragon to the arcades, a beat-em-up game developed by Technos Japan, the same company that had previously created classics like Karate Champ and Renegade. Martial artist Billy Lee and his twin brother Jimmy have to kick and punch their way through anyone who gets in their way. After all, Billy's girlfriend isn't going to rescue herself and time is running out. The game's success in arcades led to its release on home consoles. In April 1988, Japanese Famicom owners got their hands on it first, while North American players had to wait 2 more months. Meanwhile, Master System players got to enjoy it by the end of that same year. Some even received it for free through a special promotion.
This is the Sega commercial that tells you when you buy any Sega system, you'll get the incredible 2-player Double Dragon absolutely free. This is the commercial for Sega games that tells you when you buy 3 games, you get Double Dragon free. But wait, this is also the commercial that tells you to tear down to your nearest store and tear off a Sega coupon that says, if you buy any Sega system or 3 of our specially selected games, you'll get Double Dragon free.
The sequels came quickly, and in 1988, Technos released Double Dragon 2: The Revenge. 2 years later, Double Dragon 3: The Rosetta Stone followed, creating a fantastic trilogy that also had versions for home consoles and portable systems. Thanks to the huge success of the saga, DIC Animation started working on an animated series based on the game, which premiered in the United States in September 1993.
Double Dragon! It's double the kick, double the edge, and double the fun. Saving Metro City from the evil of the Shadow Master and his ruthless crew of Shadow Warriors.
Saturday at 8:30 on UPN 50.
After being separated at birth, Billy was raised by Oldest Dragon while Jimmy was raised by the evil Shadow Masters. The brothers reunited when Jimmy realized the betrayal of Shadow Masters. Together, they fought enemies over 2 seasons of 13 episodes each, airing until December 1994. The Double Dragon movie, starring Scott Wolf and Mark Dacascos, was released around the same time. Of course, toy manufacturers weren't going to miss the chance to sell action figures and vehicles from the series.
Billy and Jimmy Lee, united against the evil crime boss, Shadow Master. The twins race on their cycle to stop him. Metro City will be mine. Double Dragon. Figures and Double Dragon Cycle sold separately.
When Mortal Kombat hit the arcades, it was a total game changer and became a huge part of video game history. It introduced a brutal world that all the kids were obsessed with, leading us to buy magazines, action figures, and even go see the live-action movie that came out in 1995. Anyone who played those games or saw the movie probably can't forget the experience, but there's one series that totally slipped under the radar. In September 1996, USA Network launched a TV show called Mortal Kombat: Defenders of the Realm, produced by Film Roman and Threshold Entertainment for New Line Television.
The realm of Earth has been sought by forces of evil. Now,
Mortal Kombat begins again.
Mortal Kombat continues.
Mortal Kombat: Defenders of the Realm.
It aired in a double feature alongside the animated Street Fighter series, which by then was premiering its second season.
Colonel William Guile, one of the greatest martial artists in the world, travels the global tournament circuit, using it to conceal his top-secret mission as leader of an elite group of international crime fighters known only by their code name, Street Fighter.
The story might have lacked depth, but the characters and animation were amazing. Anyway, back to Mortal Kombat. After the fall of the Outlaws, things seemed normal until Auditor, the most powerful of the new gods, awakens to destroy all the realms. Raiden steps up again, rallying new warriors to fight back. With a classic animation style, Mortal Kombat features tons of familiar characters like Sonya Blade, Jax, Sub-Zero, Liu Kang, Katana, and Stryker. It may not have been the best series, but it was perfect for unwinding after the brutal tendinitis from hours of playing Mortal Kombat. It was either that or call the 0600 Mortal Kombat hotline.
Mortal Kombat. Llama al 061-110109.
A kid, a tricycle, and a world full of fantasy. Originally titled The World According to Bobby, a clear nod to the 1982 movie starring Robin Williams. This animated series first aired in September 1990 under its final name, Bobby's World. It was a time when everything seemed to have the world of attached to it. Disney World, Wayne's World, and of course, Bobby's World.
Saturday morning, meet the boy behind the star.
Another cereal, please.
Watch Bobby's World Saturday morning on Fox.
This animated series, which took us through the adventures of a charming and imaginative young boy, was created by Howie Mandel, a Canadian actor and comedian. He also voiced Bobby and his father.
Hi everyone, I'm Howie. Welcome to Bobby's World. And you know what I really hate? Of course you don't, because you don't know me. You know what I hate? I know you hate this too. When somebody flicks you like that, right in the eyeball.
Bobby, only 4 years old, used to say he came from a magical place called Bobbyland, where he was the boss. His dreams and wild imagination would take him to all sorts of crazy worlds, and we were right there with him, getting lost in it all. The show's initial success led the producers to create a second season with 8 new episodes, followed by a third season with 13 fresh episodes the next year. What originally started as a small idea from Howie Mandel ended up becoming a huge kids hit.
Tired of the same old story about a boy and his dog? It's Saturday morning on Fox, Bobby! You just can't miss this wild hour of excitement.
As the weeks went by, kids stayed hooked on the show, and thanks to that, Bobby's World ended up with 7 seasons and a total of 81 original episodes. A beautiful cast of characters and a colorful, fantastic universe made Bobby one of the top kids shows. Despite that, sadly, not many people remember it today. In the 80s and 90s, Ruby Spears was behind some big animated series like Heathcliff, Centurions, Chuck Norris, and the Karate Commandos, Rambo, and Police Academy. But alongside those hits, they also created some lesser-known and pretty bizarre shows. One of the standouts, Turbo Teen.
It was a stormy night when a bolt of lightning forced me off the road. My car skidded into a government laboratory where a top-secret experiment was underway. I swerved into the path of Dr. Chase's molecular transfer ray, causing me and my car to become one. The incredible Turbo Teen!
Turbo Teen had a pretty wild premise and a transformation sequence that made you wonder what was going on. The main guy, Brett Matthews, with his girlfriend Patty, best friend Alex, and dog Rusty, fought crime in 13 fun 20-minute episodes. Turbo Teen didn't quite grab the audience. It had its moment, then faded into obscurity, entertaining a few but mostly forgotten. Anthropomorphic characters have always caught the attention of kids. In the 90s, they found a pretty fertile space on TV. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, biker mice from Mars, street sharks, and also some very curious detective dogs. Dog City was originally created as a 1-hour movie, airing in mid-1989 as part of the Jim Henson Hour by the legendary puppeteer behind The Muppets, Sesame Street, and Fraggle Rock. It was like a film noir with cops and mobsters, played by puppet dogs, a beautiful, wild creation worthy of Jim Henson. After his death in May 1990, his family took over Jim Henson Productions, and with Nelvana Limited, they turned it into a unique TV series.
Fox Kids brings you a dazzling Dog City. Cool. Crazy canine capers.
And me without my camera.
With cat burglars. Such fools. Dog nappers.
Cricket, help.
Big dogs. Dogs. Top dogs.
I really have to raise my rates.
And so much doggone fun.
You'll sit up and beg for more.
The series, with its groundbreaking and revolutionary narrative, told two stories at once. On one side, there was Elliot Shag, a writer and illustrator stuck at his desk creating new adventures for a character hired by the company he worked for. That character was Ace Hart, Elliot's big creation, a detective who investigated and fought the mafia in Dog City, a 1940s-style city. The show balanced action, romance, and mystery, blending the dark tone of noir with the colorful humor typical of animated series of the time. Elliot and Ace would talk to each other, creating an interesting dynamic that added an extra layer to the story. This, combined with the relationships they both had with the characters in their world, made Dog City really stand out. The show aired for 3 seasons on Fox Kids from September 1992 to November 1994, with 31 quirky episodes that captured the attention of fans craving fresh adventures. I still can't believe no one made a video game for Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis based on this awesome character.
This video isn't over yet, but if you're enjoying the content, consider donating by scanning the code on the screen or using the links in the description below. Thanks for your support.
Board games have long been a staple of family entertainment and friend gatherings. Risk, Monopoly, Scrabble, the Game of the Goose, Ludo, Parcheesi, and countless others have entertained generations. But among them stands a genre that goes much deeper, role-playing games. And within the world of RPGs, Dungeons & Dragons has been a favorite among kids from the late 70s and early 80s.
Use your lightning bolt.
Victory is yours.
Win the treasure.
TSR Hobbies.
Dungeons & Dragons games.
Products of your imagination.
Created by Dave Arneson and Gary Gygax and published by TSR in 1974, Dungeons & Dragons quickly became a beloved game. To give it an extra boost, TSR teamed up with Marvel Comics and Japanese studio Toei Animation, and in September 1983, they launched the animated series Dungeons & Dragons on CBS.
Stay tuned for the thrilling Dungeons & Dragons.
Look out!
Right after Saturday's Super Day.
Oh, isn't that cute?
Dungeons & Dragons followed the adventures of a group of kids who, after riding an amusement park attraction, end up in the world of Dungeons & Dragons, each with a different role. There was Hank, the leader with a bow and arrow, Sheila, the older sister with a magic cloak that made her invisible, Eric, the scared and talkative kid who sometimes found his hero side, Diana the acrobat, exceptionally fit and athletic, Presto, the nerd turned magician who is always trying to cast spells, Bobby, the youngest and most impulsive with a Viking-like look and a club, and Uni, the unicorn with the power to teleport once a day. The show aired in several Latin American countries and Spain and made its way to Argentina in the 90s on the Big Channel. Despite having 3 seasons, there were only 27 episodes. The missing episode, which was never made, would have been the perfect conclusion where the kids finally made it back home. Just 2 years after the release of the 3rd Star Wars film, Return of the Jedi, George Lucas, along with a group of writers, created a children's animated series that put a group of very charismatic characters at the center and made them the stars.
We are the Trinity spirits from the forest grove.
The Ewoks aired on ABC from September 1985 to December 1986, and over the course of its 35 episodes across 2 seasons, the story followed the adventures of Wicket Warwick. He's an Ewok from the Tree Village on the moon of Endor, and along with his friends Teebo, Latara, and Princess Nisa, he teams up with the adults in their community to defend themselves from the Dulocs. While the series has its own unique identity, I've always felt it was like the Care Bears of the Star Wars universe.
Big happy family.
Space Riders, Bionic Heroes, and Interstellar Journeys, all wrapped up in an unprecedented space western. Created by Robert Mandel and produced by Transcom Media and Gaylord Entertainment, The Adventures of the Galaxy Rangers blended science fiction with the Old West style, resulting in a unique genre all its own.
These are the adventures of the Galaxy Rangers.
The story is set in 2086 when two peaceful aliens arrive on Earth seeking help. In exchange, they give humanity the plans to build the first hyperdrive, opening up the universe for exploration on a whole new level.
We have assembled a team of unique individuals to protect Earth and our allies. Courageous pioneers committed to the highest ideals of justice and dedicated to preserving law and order across the new frontier.
This elite team, known as the Galaxy Rangers, was led by Zachary Fox, a cyborg-enhanced man. Alongside him were Shane Gooseman, a super soldier with special abilities, Nico, an expert in psychic abilities and archaeology, and Walther Doc Hartford, a computer genius. On the rival side, there was the evil Queen of the Crown, Lazarus Slade, Captain Kidd, Riker, Darkstar, and an entire genocidal empire threatening the well-being of the universe. The success of the show was largely due to its innovative blend of genres and high-quality animation, produced by the Japanese studio Tokyo Movie Shinsha. Although only 65 episodes were aired between February and December of 1986, the adventures of the Galaxy Rangers left an indelible mark on the hearts of 80s sci-fi and animation fans. In some South American countries, the series was broadcast nearly 10 years later on channels like Magic Kids and The Big Channel, where it gained a loyal fan base. Additionally, several spin-off products were released, including toys, sticker albums, and comics, allowing fans to dive even deeper into the Galaxy Rangers universe. The series also stood out for its memorable soundtrack, with themes that capture the adventurous and futuristic essence of the story. Despite its short run, The Adventures of the Galaxy Rangers is still considered a gem of 80s animation, a testament to the power of imagination and creativity in children's television. In the mid-90s, Disney surprised everyone with an animated series that broke the established mold, Gargoyles.
It was a time of darkness. It was a world of fear. It was the age of gargoyles.
Back then, Disney was known for its colorful and optimistic shows like DuckTales and Chip and Dale, but Gargoyles stood out with its darker tone, intelligence, and literary references. After extensive and meticulous work on character development, scripts, and animation, the team, led by Frank Parr and Greg Wiseman, was ready to launch the first season and surprise viewers. The series debuted on October 24th, 1994, and quickly became a phenomenon among young audiences of the time.
We are defenders of the night. We are gargoyles.
The story follows a group of gargoyles, stone creatures that come to life at night, led by the imposing Goliath. These night warriors were betrayed and turned to stone by a magical curse until the millionaire David Xanatos moved his castle to New York, breaking the spell. Gargoyles stood out not only for its complex plot, but also for tackling mature and dark themes, which was rare in children's programming at the time. It also introduced strong female characters like Elisa Maza and Demona, making it even more groundbreaking. The series had a total of 78 episodes across 3 seasons. The first and second seasons were especially praised for their serialized storytelling and focus on character development and mythology. Gargoyles also inspired a comic book series published by Archie Comics, which further expanded its universe. In February 1995, Disney released a movie titled Gargoyles the Movie: The Heroes Awaken, which didn't hit theaters but was released directly to video. Although the third season, known as Gargoyles: The Goliath Chronicles, didn't feature the same creative team and wasn't as well received, the series as a whole left an indelible mark on 90s pop culture. It even had its own video game.
Live 1,000 years of adventure.
Developed by Disney Software alongside Empty Clip Studios and distributed by Buena Vista Interactive, this game, released in November 1995, offered classic platformer gameplay. By simply pressing start, players would control Goliath with the goal of defeating the Eye of Odin and battling Vikings across 5 levels. Some specialists even ranked the game as one of the best titles for the Sega Genesis. While there were plans for a Super Nintendo version as part of a holiday commercial strategy, it ultimately never happened. In addition to the show, some kids also enjoyed special promotions and a toy line, which over time became collectible items.
We are gargoyles and we've just begun a fight. Hunted by evil Macbeth, he'll hunt us till our final breath. Gargoyles quake, gargoyles awake. Mighty Grump comes alive. Power-winged Goliath makes a power dive. And mighty roar Goliath, eyes ablaze, screams his rage. We are gargoyles. When gargoyles come alive, evil can't survive. Gargoyles.
Gargoyles was a series ahead of its time, combining elements of fantasy, science fiction, and drama in a unique way. For many of us, it remains a cherished childhood memory and an example of how an animated series can be both entertaining and deep. That's all for today. Let me know in the comments what your favorite childhood shows were. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and I'll see you next time.